Hello and welcome to this video called Grandmaster Lessons, where I will be trying first to understand and then possibly correct an amateur's thinking. My name is Grandmaster Alex Colovic and this is David Crumley. So you can see the position here on the screen, and David has already thought about it for around 10 minutes. And I'm ready to hear what he has to say about this position. So, David, let's see how this goes.
So before we go ahead, if you want to train with us, it would be a good idea if you pause your video and have a think for 10 minutes as well, and see if you can do better than me. And just for context, I'm rated around 1850, and I did find it quite difficult. But yeah, let's start. So
yeah, let's start. Yeah.
The first thing I did was just count the material to see if the attack on my knight was relevant or not, because maybe I'm already material up and it doesn't matter. You know,
makes sense.
Looking for the easy life.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then I looked at the pawn formation.
Okay.
Once I realized material is equal.
Okay.
And I realized that I have basically 3 pawn islands, whereas black has 2.
Okay.
So in theory, that's a little bit better for black. But at the same time, black's pawn structure is blocking off his own bishop.
Okay.
So that's a really bad piece for him. It's essentially like it's not playing. So I got a feeling that's my advantage. If any, it would be temporarily and based on the fact that that bishop's blocked off. And let's say if all the pieces and the rooks were gone, I'd probably be losing because of my pawn islands.
Okay.
That's kind of what I made out of it.
Okay.
So I thought that I need to somehow get more active and make something happen. Maybe get rid of my pawn, my isolated pawn on d4. But obviously, first things first, I think the knight needs to be saved.
Yeah, that would be wise thing to do, yeah.
Yeah, because unfortunately, I looked at f takes on e4, f takes on e4. Those 2 central pawns look nice, but the piece is better.
Definitely.
Well, at least I got it right. I had to think of whether it's a trick position or not, you know?
No tricks here, no tricks here.
Okay, so
no tricks here.
So that's the kind of thinking I did, and then I started looking at some lines. I think the first kind of move that I considered was knight to c5.
Okay.
Should I go for that line, or should I mention the other kind of moves first?
As you wish. I mean,
Okay.
first I would like to hear your process, how it went. As closely as possible, please describe how it went.
I probably looked at 2 knight moves to begin with, so knight c5 and knight d6, just very briefly, and then I started analyzing knight to c5, and then I saw that if knight takes and rook takes, then rook to what is that? D1 check. E1 check, sorry, would win my bishop, so that's not good. So knight to c5, knight takes, pawn takes, just didn't look quite right to me. Why? I'm not entirely sure. It's just if I'm thinking about it now, or should I just think about what I said?
As it was.
As it was, I don't know. I didn't really quite like it very much, I guess.
Why not? Can you define that?
Why didn't I like it?
I mean, it's very okay. It's very important to listen to your intuition.
Yeah.
When it says something, that's great. But still, if possible, try to define it, to put it into words, because I've discovered that when you verbalize something, it becomes much more clear to yourself. So when you verbalize why exactly you didn't like it, you understand it better.
I'm trying to think. I mean, maybe if black just plays rook to e7 and then doubles up on that file, he's got the file, and I can't really dispute it.
What about rook d8 immediately?
Rook d8 immediately.
Yeah. Like knight c5, knight c5, dc5, rook d8.
Yeah. Black looks okay. I mean, his bishop might come out eventually via c8. But I don't know. I mean, okay, that's where I kind of stopped and I discarded that position.
It's fine. Look,
black looked active. I thought I should find more. I thought basically.
No, that is okay, because that let's say intuitive hunch you had is correct, because that position really after rook d8 especially.
Yeah.
Black is opposing white's dominance in the on the central files, and it's okay.
And eventually
Black is okay.
he'll get his bishop out.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. But the problem is okay. Apart from the basically losing the central control in this on the files, also by closing the c file, you're blocking the attack on the weakness that black has on c6.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, that would have been a good conclusion. Next.
So yeah, so then I moved on to look at knight to d6, and that's attacking the rook and the bishop. But I wasn't very keen on taking that bishop because that's his bad piece basically, and I think I looked at rook to e5.
What? Rook e5, he'll just take it with the pawn. e6 probably, but...
Sorry?
Rook e6 probably. Knight d6,
rook e6,
attacking the knight.
Rook e6, attacking the knight, sorry, because... so just to say, where's the knight going, right? Are you taking the bishop?
Well, you're gonna have
and also, if I do take the bishop, then his pawn on c6 is defended.
Yes.
Right, and I'm not really attacking it, and also I cannot really dispute the e file still.
Okay.
He's controlling that. And because of those reasons, I did not really like that move very much. I also looked at after rook to e6, knight takes on f5.
Okay.
Pawn takes on f5, bishop takes on f5, attacking the rook and the knight behind it. But it just looked like I'm getting 2 pawns for a piece, which should be in theory better for black.
Yeah, it's not enough.
And he can just move his rook to e7 and it's okay. I didn't see anything there. So then I started looking at some other moves. I think, and then I started looking at d5.
Okay.
D5. Because I thought, okay, if he takes on e4, I take on c5.
c6, you mean?
C6, yeah, sorry. And I'm attacking the knight with my rook, so I can take that with check. So I thought he really has to take the pawn back with the bishop. And then I take the bishop with the rook on c6.
Okay. How did that look?
And yeah, hold on a second. And then he's moved next, right? But I'm attacking his knight at that point. So yeah, that looked good to me, and I think that was the best move I was considering throughout the whole time.
Okay.
Because both my rooks are really active. I've gotten rid of my weak pawn, which could become a liability eventually.
But did you consider alternatives to him taking your knight after d5?
Yeah, I considered him taking with a pawn.
Yeah.
And then I thought I should jump into d6.
Okay, continue.
Attacking the bishop and the rook.
Yep.
He has to move the rook.
Yep.
Otherwise I'd be an exchange up. So here, what was it? 1 second. What did I look at? Where did he put his rook? I think the point was, okay, let's say he puts his rook on attacking the knight. Most active move on e6. I just take the bishop, and then I can take the pawn with the rook attacking the knight. Again, both my rooks are centrally active, and I looked up to that point and I thought it looks acceptable for me as well to continue this way. And that's why at the end of the 10 minutes I settled on just pushing the pawn.
Okay, good. So this is a relatively good analysis of how to come to a decision what to play in this position. So now, I would like to say my impressions of all the whole process. What I noticed that you were trying to find some sort of a combinative solution in this position, like for example letting him take your knight, or then playing knight d6 sacrificing on f5, which is sort of out of place here because as you can see the position is of an endgame type. Your pieces are still somewhat in the back, and the feeling here should be that there shouldn't be a combinative solution. So that's one. Okay, but fine, it's okay. It's always useful to check for combinations, even if they are not working. You're still checking, but because you never know when they may work.
Yeah.
The second thing is that the whole process you did, checking knight c5, knight d6, and d5, basically was absolutely correct, because the lines you saw were correct. So you did not blunder anything in those lines that you were seeing, and the conclusions you reached were correct. So the evaluations you got at the end of these lines were correct. So what would have happened in a game had you played this position and spent 10 minutes here would have that you would have thought about these things and you eventually would have played d5. Am I correct?
If I had 10 minutes, then
Yeah,
yes.
well, yeah, okay, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, not always thinking longer improves your understanding
Yeah.
or calculation or anything, and that does not necessarily lead to better decisions.
I mean, I think I did not look at d5 until my other two options weren't working.
Yeah, okay, that's normal. That's normal because although the usual, like the common advice is to check or at least see your options at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Very often during a game, this is not as straightforward because you get tempted by one move and then you may be excited to check if it's working or not, and then it's not, and only then you check for alternatives. For example, yeah, ideally it would be like you see your options at the beginning and then you start one by one. But sometimes, yeah, you see two, you hope that one will work, then it doesn't, and then you go back to looking for alternatives, which is okay. But ideally, you would want to see your options at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what okay, let's call it. It's not really a problem, but now we are talking from a training perspective and trying to make it as good as possible. The problem with the whole process was that it's not complete.
Mm-hmm.
Why it's not complete? Because you did not look at the other alternatives. The knight has to move. Okay, we understand that. So the knight has 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 moves here. So there are 6. Okay, plus d5, 7.
Okay, no, I very quickly looked at knight to g5.
Okay.
For example, at knight to c3. I forgot to describe it to you.
Yeah,
I did look at those, but
yeah.
I thought, yeah, knight to c3, he can even push him, and at b4, and I have to move to like probably a5.
A4.
Yeah, a4, sorry. And my knight doesn't look that great there because I cannot really jump into b6. If I wanted to jump to c5, I could do it now. So I looked at that. So I'll tell you what I looked at. I just forgot to tell you. So I looked at knight to c3. I looked at knight to f2. I looked at knight to g3 and g5.
Good. So that's good.
But I just quickly discarded them because none of them looked. Okay, so I did look at knight to g5, and he can even play h6. Yeah, and then I have to jump. Yeah, knight to h3, and I just thought, okay, that's not looking promising for me, you know. So yeah, I kind of quickly discarded them, but maybe I kept them in the backup, you know, and I went for the other ones that look better, and then somehow I got into pushing the pawn, which is the best.
Okay. So I see. Okay.
I looked at those moves.
Okay, now I understand. Okay, I understand better now because the point is that, for example, that these moves, okay, knight g5, knight g3, knight c3, knight f2, they're all actually, objectively speaking, now very promising. But what happened is that you cut short your calculations very quickly. So you see one move by your opponent and you immediately abandon it. And that is too soon. For example, what you were looking at, knight c3, b4, for example, okay?
Yeah.
Let's even say you put your knight on a4, even that, okay?
Yeah.
Even that. The position changed. It's not the same as jumping to c5 then and now, because when the pawn is already on b4, you have a move like rook c4, for example.
Yeah.
And he has problems with that pawn on b4,
okay,
for example, yeah? Maybe an option is to go even knight a2, attacking that pawn immediately. So the position is changed already. So this is a common, let's say, mistake when you're drawing a conclusion based on what you were looking at before.
Yeah.
And the position has changed in the meantime. But what I see as a bigger, let's say, potential issue is that you cut short very, very quickly the other moves. For example, you see, I don't know, knight g5, h6. No, it's not good. So that's too soon. In this position, it's too soon.
It goes knight h3 and then what?
Yeah, knight h3, but then it comes to f4. And then if you put the bishop on a2, all of a sudden some ideas appear.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's good.
See, I mean, exactly, this is what I'm trying to explain.
You got a d6 square to work with.
Yeah, e6, e6 square, you're controlling some files. Then from f4 can come to d3, and then e5 is controlled, c5 is controlled, b4 is controlled. So you see the options start to appear. But in order to see them, you have to not abandon that quickly the options. Yeah. For example, what else did you look at? Like, let's say knight c3, you looked at b4, which is not such a good move. But for example, things do become more complicated when you look more deeply. For example,
I look at knight c3. Also, he could push c5 and activate.
Exactly. Now we are coming to the more concrete part. Yeah, knight c3, for example. So as you explained at the beginning, okay, maybe you can say it again. What is white's advantage here? What does it consist of? You said the bishop. What else?
That the black's bishop is bad.
Yeah.
And that my pieces are active right now in the center, and the rooks
Okay.
essentially placed. And yeah, I think that was all I said, because I said
Okay.
that my pawn formation is a disadvantage.
Well,
If we were to trade everything off the board,
yeah. If you were,
let's say his
if
king
you
is
were,
his king gets
yeah,
to
if you were,
yeah,
but not at this moment.
not at this moment.
Not at this moment. Actually, in this moment, your structure is actually better.
Yeah,
Even though it may sound counterintuitive because you have an isolated queen's pawn. If you actually look at all his pawns being on white, light squared bishop,
Yeah.
everything on white, that's one. And second, that pawn on c6 is awfully weak. And you have a very strong square on c5.
I mean, opponent c6 did not look weak to me because his bishop is
Yeah, it
very,
is. Yes,
much-
yes. Well, bad bishops defend good pawns. Okay, that's what it has been said. But here it is. Generally, it is. If you manage to put a knight on b4, for example, then it's becoming weak. Yeah, because you start to attack it. So yes, white's advantage consists of all that you said, plus these weaknesses on the dark squares like d6, c5, yeah, e5 maybe if you put a knight on d3, f4 maybe, yeah, and the passive bishop. So these are the advantages you are working, let's say, with.
Yeah.
Now, having this in mind, what can you expect from black in this position?
So I was thinking he would really like to play c5.
Good.
He would really like to keep control of the e file.
Okay.
And one other thing I thought of, he might want to place a knight in front of my isolated pawn.
Good.
So
Good.
knight f6 to d5.
Okay. Good.
Those are the things.
Okay, good. Yeah, of course. That's sensible. Yeah. So now, again, trying to clear things up a little bit. All the moves you're considering actually in this position, you should consider them against these two main ideas. Let's say black has one, to push through c5.
Yeah.
And two, play, let's say, more slowly, rook d8, knight f6, knight d5 maybe, rook on d6, some more positional, let's say, ideas for black. So whichever move you consider, you should be considering it against these two ideas.
Yeah.
So for example, you play, let's say, knight c3, okay? Then you check, okay, can he play c5? One, because it solves his problem. And two, can he do rook d8, knight f6, something slower?
Okay.
So it kind of clarifies it a bit, your thinking process, because you know what to expect from your opponent.
Yeah.
I can expect these two things. So whichever move I try, I should see how do I react against these two options. This should be the way you should be kind of making it easier for you to know what to expect. Because I know, for example, that people very often get overwhelmed because they don't know what to expect. Oh, he can play anything.
Yeah.
No, he cannot play anything. Yeah, because the more you're precise in your calculations and understanding, you see that anything is kind of very narrow. Like in this position, can he play king h8? Yeah, of course he can play king h8, but how does that help? It's an idiotic move. So it's not anything really. If you look at the position, understand it well, you see that black wants to get rid of that backward pawn and the bad bishop, pushing c5, logical. If he cannot do that, then improve the position of the pieces. Your knight has to move, so the knight can maybe go to f6. The bishop can come to d8. It's passive on b8, so it comes to d8. So these are the things you should be expecting. It's not just anything.
Yeah, of course.
So this is the thing. And now, for example, okay, just for training purposes, okay, like I said, I have to distinguish this. In a practical game where you don't have much time, 10 minutes I would say is the optimal time to think maximum in these faster time controls. What would have happened is what you described. Okay, you were looking at these two moves, three. You came to the conclusion that d5 is your most promising for you. You would have played, you would have gotten that position, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now, but since we're in training, I'm trying to push you, okay, to the maximum, to try to come to a better decision. So the question now is, but before you come to that, first you need to discover calculate the other options. So what about knight c3? What about knight f2? What about knight g3? What about knight g5? So for example, we already saw knight g5. The idea is to get the knight to f4. For example, putting the knight on f2. Again, the idea is to come to d3.
Yeah.
Okay. Knight c3 is okay. Maybe. Okay. So all these moves have some ideas. Now, ultimately, the question is my choice, whatever that is in a given situation, let's say in this case your choice of d5, the best I have in this position? But in order to understand whether that is yes or no question, you need to see what where the other options are leading you, calculate them, yeah, come to a conclusion at the end, come to an evaluation at the end, and then compare these evaluations. But before we continue, I want to explain one more thing. Very often, these evaluations at the end may not be clear-cut ones. For example, I'm winning or I'm a pawn up or something. No. Very often, these evaluations can be a feeling. Okay? Very often, they are very subjective. In a sense that, I think this is okay. Or I think here I have easier play. Or this is probably difficult for him. Or I like this position. So they're very subjective. You know, and for example, you can have one subjective feeling, most likely you will, and some other player will have another one. And if, this is the key, if the lines are calculated correctly, precisely, as long as they are calculated precisely, the end feeling can determine the choice, and for different persons, the choice can be different. And very often will be. Okay? So every player chooses based on his understanding, intuition, and everything, but the basis for everything, for any decision should be a concrete and precise calculation. So this, I think, is like the key, should be the key understanding how you should come to a decision before playing a move. Okay. So okay, now briefly again, not without too much thinking, consider knight c3, knight f2, knight g3, just to get an idea. Yeah. What I would like to concentrate, just because it's like, let's say, more fun, is that what happens after knight c3, c5.
Knight c3, c5.
Yeah.
I looked at takes.
Yep.
Pawn takes. I'm attacking the knight, so he probably knight takes.
Yep.
Well, if I have a discovery attack on the knight, maybe now, but that's kind of where I ended up before.
So you stopped again early, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I stopped there. And now I can see that he's also eyeing b3 with the knight, so it's actually, my discovery might not really work because let's just say knight takes on b5.
Yeah.
Knights b3, and it looks like I might be losing the right.
I'm not saying anything, I'm just leaving you.
Not saying anything. All right, fair enough. So should I keep going or do whatever I want?
Do whatever you think you should do.
Okay, so then he's attacking one of my rooks. I can attack one of his rooks. Knight to d6, he takes my rook, I take his rook with check, he has to move his king. Maybe I get my knight out.
Really? He has to move his king?
Oh, he can take my knight. Yeah, good point. Yeah, he takes my knight. So then he's got rook, bishop, and knight, and I've got just bishop and rook, so that looks pretty bad for me.
Okay.
So we're still on knight back to c3, c5 takes. Knight takes. So I'm looking if I have a better move than knight takes on b5. Maybe I can double up rook to d1. Maybe an idea becomes then b4 to get rid of the knight. And then play rook to d7 check, which actually doesn't really give me too much because the bishop's protected.
Yep.
So it will go back to that position with the two knights, one on c3, one on c5. Do I have a better move there? Yeah, I cannot take the e file. Maybe bishop a2. Doesn't seem to be doing very much, so I think I'll be very interested in like just cutting that move off because it
move
really
off where or what?
Knight to c3 just doesn't look good after c5.
Good,
he looks extremely active.
Okay, good.
Bishop's liberated.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think so. I'll go to the next one.
Okay. This is what I wanted to see. What's happening? You see, you came actually now objectively speaking. Okay, you came to a wrong decision just because your calculation wasn't good.
Okay.
So, for example, what you missed kind of a lot of things, but okay, one by one. Okay.
Yeah.
Knight c3, c5, d5, knight c5. Okay.
You're gonna have to go slower.
Okay, sorry.
Knight c3,
okay,
c5,
d5. Maybe we can make the moves on the board if you want.
Yeah. Okay. I'll make the moves.
You can make the moves on the board.
I'm following.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You can make the moves. Yeah. Okay, so make c5, yeah?
Okay.
c5, okay, knight c3, c5, dc5, knight c5. Okay, this is the thing. And now you're thinking knight b5, which is, okay, you noticed it, which is good.
Yeah.
So you make the move, okay? And now you're worried about knight b3.
Yeah.
And now what you missed, okay, it was kind of a really a narrow vision, because you see he's attacking
Rook
your rooks.
check maybe.
Exactly, now you're seeing it.
Yeah.
But when you're calculating it, you did not.
Yeah, of
So
course.
you see how bad calculation leads to bad
Bad
decisions
rooks
and
not
bad
really
conclusions also.
Mhm.
So the point is, you only see he attacks my rooks, I attack his, and you miss that you can actually give check. And by giving
I
check,
can take the 7th rank actually with both rooks. Looks like.
yeah, okay, yeah. Now things become tactical, but the point is
Yeah.
that you missed it, you know, and this is the problem. I mean, when you miss things, you come to wrong conclusions, wrong decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is I don't know. Different people have different like reasons why they miss these things. If I don't know, during a game it can be concentration, lack of visualization,
Yeah.
many things. Yeah, but this you improve by doing these types of exercises. Okay, you just try to calculate blindfold or just concentrate better. Try to see the position more
That's
clearly
why
in your head.
we haven't been moving the pieces because it makes it
Yeah,
hard.
exactly,
Like, if I had
exactly.
been moving the pieces.
Exactly. We're trying to emulate how it looks during a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to get make it as close as similar as possible to how it looks in a game.
Yeah.
So now things become, for example, tricky.
Yeah, and become actually quite exciting for white maybe.
Exactly. And now, for example, what? Okay, let's just.
We have 2 rook checks.
Yeah, you have 2 rook checks. So now it becomes, let's say, more demanding for calculation because
Yeah.
you have to check both checks and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking maybe, rook c7 check, king can move. Probably has to go to c5 because it looks pretty
where?
bad. f6.
Yeah, I see.
I think I need to practice my coordinates.
maybe put the other board. Maybe you can see it better.
No, man, I think I should be better at it without anything there.
Well, yeah.
might have to do some coordinate practice.
No, if you want, like, okay, for the viewers, yeah, if you really want to practice here, you can just put the position at the start.
No,
okay.
no.
Okay, I mean, yeah,
it's
but
fine.
just saying, yeah.
We have to edit the video screen. You know that's a pain.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was thinking he has to go
okay.
to f6 because if he's going to the 8th rank, that looks pretty dangerous after rook to d7. There might not be nothing, and I'm just saying it looks dangerous. I mean, maybe after rook to d7, he just takes the knight and there is nothing there.
Okay.
But I don't know. Okay, let's say he does take the knight. I play rook check. Let's say he goes to. I'm imagining he's going to the 8th rank now, right?
Well, after rook c7.
After rook c7, yeah, rook
Well,
c7 and rook d7.
This is
So
what
it
I'm
looks bad
saying.
for him.
Well, this
So
is
that's
what
what I'm
I'm
saying. I think he needs to go to f6.
Yeah, if he goes to the 8th rank, then rook d7 and
Yeah,
just
exactly. And then maybe the bishop to e2 as well,
exactly,
and he's losing.
Yeah. So
Maybe.
rook king f6 is
Yeah, so king f6 I thought is stronger. So king f6. Then you can play the other rook check maybe, but then he can block with the rook. Doesn't look great. Okay, wait.
I wait.
Rook c7 check, king f6. Yeah, rook to e5 check. Rook
Sorry,
to
E5, where
yeah,
E5?
oh d5 check. Rook
D6,
to
you mean?
yeah d6. Rook to e6, blocking the check.
Or king e5. But,
Oh, or king e5. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it's more complicated.
Yeah, this is actually very demanding because just to remind you, yeah, you would be calculating this position from the starting position.
Yeah,
Because you can't make the decision to play knight c3 if you don't see all this.
Yeah, yeah,
And this makes it so demanding and complex and problematic and difficult.
yeah. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you need to get to a decision, to a conclusion.
Okay, let's
if
see.
it's good or not.
So he. Okay, let's look at he blocks with the rook.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can take his rook. He takes with the king.
Yeah, and then?
Doesn't look great.
Again, you don't jump to a conclusion. Don't jump to a conclusion before seeing it through. Because I mean,
maybe my knight's hanging.
yeah,
The most natural square looks like d4, but the knight's covering that.
yeah.
Another good square would be obviously where my rook is, c7. So
Yeah, that would be legal.
I guess I can go back
Yeah.
to c3. If I go back to c3, I'm attacking h7.
Yeah.
So my rook is active in the 7th rank, which is nice. And what's the material situation? I've won a pawn.
Yep.
So-
But okay, just a small
but
correction.
his
You're
knight
missing
is very active.
instead of knight c3, you're missing basically a move that decides more or less on the spot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I briefly looked at rook takes bishop, but
Nah.
just didn't look like anything was there.
Try to visualize the position better. See where the pieces are.
I guess I mean because my knight's still hanging. Maybe I can pin his knight with rook bishop a2,
Well, yes.
and then if he takes my knight, I take his knight.
With check, and then you take on h7,
Check,
and you're
yeah.
2 pawns up.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
if he goes bishop d5, then knight c3, and you take that, bishop h7 is hanging, the knight is pinned.
You've lost me. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah. But no, the important thing was to
Should we
see
show-
bishop a2.
yeah,
The important thing was to see bishop a2.
which is not
But you still
easy.
haven't finished.
Okay. I
No,
should've
because you
realized.
you have to see king e5
Yeah,
instead of rook
yeah,
e6.
shit, yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
But let's just pretend black played a bad move. And put-
Nah, no.
Okay, okay. King
You can
e5,
hope,
king
but
e5.
no.
Okay, so king e5. That was after. Okay, so that was after rook to c7 check, king f6,
Yeah.
rook to d6 check, king e5. Both my rooks are protected by my knight, so the king can't take that. So then,
But the knight is hanging.
but yeah, my knight is hanging. I would like to play something like rook to c5 check, but the knight's protecting that square. Maybe something like f4, but he takes the pawn, and
Not clear.
yeah, no, not clear, because he also gets g5 as a square then. I mean, his king is running very short in squares, basically. But I don't really see my next move.
Good. Now, can you define the problem in that position?
It's unclear.
No. Unclear is some sort of vague evaluation. The problem. What's bothering you in that position?
What's bothering me in that position?
Yeah.
Well, the fact that my hanging knight's defending both
Good.
my rooks.
Good, excellent. No, excellent. That's what you should do. You define your problem.
Yeah.
Now, once you understand your knight is hanging, you can't move the knight because the rooks will fall. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, think logically. Which is actually the rook under the problematic rook?
Yeah. The e5 6 rook, e6 rook,
D6.
d6 rook.
Yeah, there is.
There
Okay.
is no e6 rook.
So, and if you think like now, then you think like if I move that rook, then he takes my knight anyway, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So now how can you put these two together? Moving the rook, but at the same time avoiding the damage of like I'm saying, avoiding the damage of him taking the knight, but not.
Maybe rook to b6.
That's one option. What's the point?
That if he takes my knight, I take his bishop.
Okay. See, now you immediately find the solution. Okay. Other option?
The other option, yeah, I guess it's rook to d7.
Okay, with the same idea. If he
Yeah.
takes knight, you take bishop. Another option?
Another option.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
So
His king is on.
what? Okay, yeah.
I mean, I guess I could play the f4 move to deflect.
Yeah,
his
okay,
king.
f4 doesn't change. Okay, he
Give-
takes
give
and
him
then,
pawn.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the point is, what you're trying to do actually, you're trying to move the rook in such a way that you attack something, so when he takes your knight, you take something else in
Yeah.
return.
Right. So I could just play rook back to d3,
Exactly.
attacking his knight.
And that would be the best move in this position.
Yeah.
Yeah, you move the knight, and then if he takes your knight, you take the knight on b3, and you're clear pawn up. Still, the pawn on h7 is king, the pawn
Yeah,
on
it
b5
looks
is
nice.
king, etc.
Yeah.
So this is let's say a complex calculation.
But
yeah?
if we go back to this position,
Okay.
so this
Yeah,
position,
yeah.
I mean, he can play other things other than
Yeah,
c5.
of course. That's why this
So
is
all
like
of a sudden, I'm calculating for like an hour in this game, and I'm losing on time.
No. This is training. No. Like I distinguished at the beginning. This is
Okay,
training.
Okay.
We train here. We push it to the maximum. We try to extract
in a
everything.
game, you
in
would
a
just
game,
push the
like I
pawn.
said, like I said at the beginning, in the game you would have thought for 10 minutes, played d5, the game would have continued.
Yeah.
No, everything after that is just training.
Okay,
Yeah.
just training.
Training and trying to push you to the limit to
And
see
seeing
how
everything I can
you're
see.
doing. Yeah. to see how you're doing, how you're thinking, how you're calculating, what your problems are, and so on. So I'm just, this is separate things, of course.
Okay.
I said it. Okay, in a
yeah,
game that would have
yeah.
happened. Yeah, that would have happened. Fine, good. Okay, good enough. But now it's already a training. So what I'm saying now is that okay, c5 is the thing, like natural move, yeah, to consider.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're getting into these calculation problems that you can see that the main problem perhaps for you is this sort of weaker visualization.
Yeah.
Where you have to remind yourself how the pieces were there, here,
Yeah.
what I can do, and perhaps also this, what I noticed from the other lines, for example, some sort of narrow vision. For example, you only check one move, and then you continue down that line like in a tunnel. You're not considering your options. Yeah. So this thing called you should be kind of more wide.
Yeah, the breadth of the search.
Yeah, exactly, the breadth, like width, more breadth. Yeah, for when considering options, both for yourself and your opponent. Yeah. So this line, for example, is a very interesting case of pushing yourself to calculate. And at the end, okay, what was I think important, it helped you that you determine, you verbalize, yeah, your problem.
Yeah.
Okay, my problem is that my knight is hanging. I cannot move it because my rook is hanging.
Yeah.
And then logically, what do? I have to move my rook in such a way that when he takes my knight, I take something in return, so I don't end up material down. And then you immediately come up with solutions. Rook b6, rook d7, rook d3.
Yeah.
Immediately 3 solutions, where at the beginning you were like, oops, it looks like problem.
Yeah.
Looks like trouble. So don't be overwhelmed. I mean, it's very important not to panic, not to just become overwhelmed. Wow, this is hanging, that is hanging. This is bad. No. Calm down. Consider your options. Try to understand what the problem is. And then try to tackle it if possible. If not, okay, then maybe it's a real problem. But in this case, it wasn't. It was solvable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could solve it. So this is very important, just not to panic. Okay?
I mean, I didn't feel like I was panicking. I
No,
felt
okay,
like I
yeah,
was maybe too pessimistic.
Yeah, okay,
That's a
maybe,
better word.
okay, I'm just okay using words, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
may not be the most precise. But hopefully the viewers can relate.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure
And also, for example, just for fun's sake, again, I'm again trying to extract the maximum of the position for training purposes. For example, after c5, d c5, knight c5, yeah,
Yeah.
you were looking at knight b5, yeah.
Yeah.
What about a b5? He just simply takes
What
your
about a b5? Oh yeah, he just
Yeah, he
takes
takes
my
your
knight. I take his knight.
knight. Then
Oh, and he attacks, and I lose my bishop.
exactly, you jump into conclusions again.
Uh,
You see something, you stop and you say, "Whoops, that's it."
Well, I mean, okay, so yeah, so knight takes, pawn takes. Oh well, I can win. No, I can't win his bishop.
Don't jump to conclusions. Calm down. Don't. You see, immediately you're doing this all the time. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is bad. We see one move. Wow, bad. We see
Yeah.
another one. Oh, this is good.
Okay,
Then bad.
okay,
Good.
so-
No.
so
Get to the end of the line.
Okay, I'll get to the end of the line.
Yeah.
I'll try. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna start from the beginning for the viewers. So we're in this position. Black plays c5, d takes on c5, knight takes on c5, knight takes on b5, a takes on b5, a move suggested by you.
Well, it should. I mean, it should be calculated, of course, because
Rook takes on c5, rook to e1 check, king to f2, rook takes on b1, I'm a piece down. So maybe rook from d, rook d to, rook to d7 check.
well,
Okay, well, he has a lot of moves here.
exactly. Don't be
king to
overwhelmed.
f6. My rook in the c file cannot check because the bishop will take it. So rook to, let's say rook to d6 check, king to e7, and then my rook is being attacked, and I resign.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Any
again,
alternatives on the way?
I want to try and come up with alternatives. So maybe I don't have to take his knight.
So okay, first of all,
But he's just
when
taking my
when is
knight.
the moment when you have a choice in that line? In which position do you have a choice?
In which position do I have a choice?
Yeah. When is the moment when
After he takes my bishop?
exactly. So this is the moment when you actually stop.
Yeah.
Don't make a move by inertia,
Yeah.
giving check or whatever it is. You stop.
And look deeper.
Yeah, I mean look deeper. Determine options.
Yeah, okay. look broader.
Yeah.
There's
What
seven
options?
options. I mean, the options seem narrow to me because I'm a piece down.
Yeah, your piece down, you can give check. Anything else?
I can push a6.
Which is for free, but okay. Okay, fine. Look
Yeah,
options.
I'm looking.
Yeah, of
It
course.
sucks, but you
Of
know.
course. Of course.
So okay, both my rooks are in central files. Yeah, I have rook to c7. I might be better moving that rook first.
Okay.
And I'm probably blind to something else right now, right?
Probably.
Maybe I can take the pawn on b5,
Mm-hmm.
which defends my pawn on b2, attacks the bishop, which is pinned because the rook is behind it. Maybe I can play rook check and then play rook to b5. Rook takes pawn. So maybe I can play rook to d7 check and then rook takes on b5, and then I'm winning that piece back. Or not, because he can play bishop to c5.
C6.
c6.
Now you're getting better, see?
And I can move one rook with check, maybe.
Depends where he moved his king.
Yeah, because he will move his king to e5 and attack my rook.
Yeah, just put it on h6 and there are no more checks.
Okay, h6,
for example.
but
So,
his rook
okay.
is hanging.
Hmm?
But
Oh, no,
his rook was
I
hanging.
thought in the beginning, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So you see what happened, okay? When you stopped, looked for options,
Yeah.
you immediately come up with ideas. Okay, some are bad like a6, but
Yeah.
then another one, okay, maybe I can take that pawn on b5. Okay, I threaten a6, his rook is pinned, okay? I defend b2, I threaten check on d7. All of a sudden a lot of constructive ideas appear for you.
Yeah.
Yeah? And then, okay, then what?
Where do you want me to calculate from?
What happens? Okay, what was your conclusion there?
Well, I
What
didn't
to-
really reach one because
So you go, you
what-
calculate until you do.
So what I remember is I had a rook. My rook has just taken a pawn on b5.
Yep.
My other rook had taken a pawn. My other rook was placed on d7, and he
No,
has
the rook
just
is still
played
on
rook to
d2.
c6.
The rook is still on d2. Yeah. From practical perspective, it's better not to give that check, but to keep it. Because the tactics actually that doesn't work is when he gives the check, you move the king, you take on b5, he has bishop c6.
But I already had played it. That's why. So I was already down the wrong line.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't work. So it's better not to give that check on d7.
So I need to go back to that point, and I need to go to that. I need to go back to the point where my rook is on c5 and the other rook is on d2, and I just take the pawn.
Exactly, take immediately.
Because I have a6 as a trap.
Exactly.
So
So
a6.
it's always better to keep your options. You know?
So I guess you play rook to a1.
Okay, but then you win the bishop, right? Check and you take the bishop.
Okay, then I take. Okay, so how does he stop it?
Good question. Good question.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess he doesn't stop it.
Jumping to conclusions. Yep, always.
Okay, well, so because my rook on d2 is on a dark square, I only have two rooks at this position.
Yeah.
I guess he could just try and take on f3 to get a pawn. And after I take the rook, he moves the bishop somewhere.
Yeah, but they're just dead lost.
Okay.
Two passed pawns just running to queen. Yeah, it's like.
So you're saying he can save?
Not saying anything.
I said that he's losing the bishop.
No, I didn't say anything.
And you say I was jumping to conclusions.
That
okay.
I did say, yeah.
Okay, so again, my rook is taking the pawn on b5. My other rook is on d2. His rook is on b1. He has to make a move to stop a6. See, he can't attack any of my rooks. Because his rooks cannot attack my rooks. I mean, I've been thinking about like silly moves like rook to f8 check, but that's for free, as you say.
F1,
So, huh?
F1 you mean?
Yeah, f1, yeah.
Jumping to conclusions again.
So you want me to stay on this line? I'm
No,
missing
just
something.
no. Just what you just said. The last thing, the silly moves.
Rook to f1.
Now his facial expression will change very quickly. The moment he sees the idea.
He'll pin my rook, huh? I'll take his rook, he'll pin my rook. Or it's bishop to a6.
See how his facial expression changed.
Looks the same to me.
Looks the same to you. What does it look the same to you? Your piece down.
I'm a piece down, huh? Yeah, I'm a piece down. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Huh?
I did look at rook to f8 before, and I
F1.
kind of briefly f1. I briefly considered bishop to a6, but I didn't reach the right conclusion about that line. Like,
because
I saw
think,
it, but I
see,
just like,
yeah. This is the thing. You did not see it clearly. You did not understand what was happening.
Because I did consider it.
Great. That's great. That's the first step. The most important step is to see it. But then the second one is to understand
I saw it very blurry though.
That's the thing. That's the problem.
And I didn't verbalize it because I thought it was a silly move. So I thought I better not say this on camera. You know, rook to f1 check.
No, but you see, rook f1, king f1, bishop a6, and you lose that bishop, lose the rook, and it'll be just 2 pawns for a piece.
Yeah. That looks bad.
Jumping to conclusions again.
Oh, this position sucks.
Now I'm liking it. Yeah. Now I'm liking it. Well, okay. This is high intensity training. Okay.
Let's have a go. Okay, so I guess I have rook to d7 check, and if he moves.
No, stop. There is rook f1 check. You didn't finish that line.
Yeah, rook f1 check, king takes, bishop a6.
But that we already concluded that's bad.
Oh, okay. You concluded that's bad. I thought maybe there was something else to do there.
No, that's bad. He takes your rook, but blockade along the light squares. Nothing to do there.
So that means that taking a knight was bad.
Nope.
So.
No. Look. You're again jumping to conclusions. Why?
Because I'm trying to remember where we're stopping now.
I'll tell you.
So you said bishop to e6 is wrong.
No.
Bishop a6 is winning. You said.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's done.
Yeah, that's done. But what was your move that allowed him to win like that?
A rook takes on b.
Nope.
King to f2. No, that was
forced. Everything was forced until one point. You have to determine that point. What was your move that allowed him to win like that?
I mean, I don't know how far back I need to go.
No, it's not far. Actually,
has like short circuits
no, not far at all.
Okay. So
not far at all. What allowed bishop a6?
Rook takes on b5.
No. That's a huge jump.
Oh,
no?
King takes on f1.
That's my man.
See? I don't have to take. I can move
exactly.
to GT. Yeah, good one.
Good one.
Now
see?
my face changes.
Now your face changes again. Into a very big smile.
Yeah,
but you did not finish with the line.
Great.
Yeah, great. High intensity training. That's how you improve.
So king to... Well, I could also go to... But no, that's not good. If I go to the open file, he can just check with his rook and he's saved. So it has to be g3. Well, he's not going to play f5. Maybe he is. Because if I take, he has the same idea. He can check and get out.
Yep.
So f5,
f4.
f4. And if I play king to h3, he has a bishop check, which saves him
calculating
again.
much better now.
And if I go to h5...
4.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
Okay.
Okay, he might play g5 check. Does that help him if I take?
g5 not really, but something else.
Okay, sorry. You gave me a hint to drop g5, fine.
Well, g5 is just, as the French would say, en pris.
Okay, so hold on. So my king is on h4. He has a pawn on f4.
Rook on f1.
Yeah, maybe rook on f1. He can... What? What are you talking about?
If you're not sure, you have to recalculate from the start to determine where the pieces are.
Okay, so he has a rook on f1, king to g3, pawn to f4.
King is on h4. Because he gave
h4.
Yeah.
Just don't, I guess maybe he can play rook to h1. Trying to take that pawn.
Not really, no?
Sorry?
Not really. Because you can either even h3 or just take that bishop, and even if he takes that pawn, you go to g4, f4, and then those two pawns will promote.
King h4 is saying I'm missing a move and it's not g5.
Well, it's not that you're missing a move, but things are becoming now really complex, yeah? Now, again, when you don't know what to do, or you don't know what to
then you give up when you play something.
That's the worst thing you can do. No, you try to understand, okay, what your threat is.
Yeah.
Your threat is what?
Well, I'm still trying to take the bishop.
Exactly. So a6 or check and take the
yeah.
Okay, good. So,
but
your king is kind of in a
box almost.
Yeah, somewhat a dodgy situation. So
maybe you can play h6.
h6 allows the check, but with the same idea, not allowing the check.
Sorry?
The same idea to you want to play h6 to play g5, right?
Yeah.
Right, but you do with the same idea to push g5, but not allowing the check on d7.
Not allowing the check on d7.
Yeah, or avoiding it, let's say.
Oh, okay, so he'll move his king.
Exactly, king h6.
King h6.
That's how you come to logical moves.
He also protects the h4, h5 square then from my king. So my king really only has. Oh, my king. Yeah. If I go to a light square, he gets out his bishop.
Exactly.
Still, so.
What now?
What now? So that's a good question. Well, I mean,
You have to follow your plan. Your
okay,
piece down,
a-
you have to take
a6.
or
rook to
d7.
d7.
Exactly. These are your moves.
Okay, so I'll look at a6 first.
Now this is okay. It's just a brief mention. Okay,
Mhm.
when you have option of two moves and you at the beginning you don't know which one is better, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What you do is you go with your feeling. Okay, you go with your intuition. Something tells you that you should start calculating one or the
Yeah.
other. Okay. In
a6.
Okay. A6,
Because
fine.
my
Okay,
rook on
okay.
the second rank
So-
is very nice.
Okay, fine. Yeah, fine. I'm not saying. So what I want to say is that there will be days when you will be lucky,
Yeah.
and
that's
you
the
will
right one.
intuition will just you will just guess the right move, calculate it, play it, win it.
Yeah.
On other days you'll be unlucky. You'll sense a wrong move. You'll calculate, waste a lot of time. It will turn out it's not working, and then you have to calculate the other one, and then waste probably time, effort, etc. You may still win the game, hopefully.
Mhm.
But I just wanted to explain that on some days you get luckier than others. Just to mention, okay. It's okay, ca6.
Okay, so a6. Bishop takes, rook takes, rook, and I'm winning
Bishop takes what?
on a6.
Yeah, if you takes, you take
Yeah,
it, and you
and
win,
I'm winning.
of course. Yeah.
G5, check, and I have to go to a light square. Let's say, ooh, am I getting mated?
Uh-huh.
Almost.
Uh-huh.
King to G4, bishop to C8 check, and
You're done.
yeah, and lights out.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
What
and
you
obviously
miss?
king to H3,
Oh,
king to
similar.
H3, rook to well, I get G4.
Yeah, but you lose the rook on b5.
Yeah, I do. So what am I
What
missing?
what are you
So
missing?
H6, G5 check. I'm missing something there.
Yep.
His pawn is on f4, so I cannot go to that dark square. I cannot take the pawn because his king is defending it,
Whoa.
and I have to move my king.
Nope.
What do you mean no? His king is defending the pawn on g5.
Yes, and how many times are you attacking it?
Ah, my rook is attacking it from the side. Yeah.
Visualization.
Yeah, I mean, no, you only saw this because you have the board next to you.
Yeah, well, helps.
Yeah, so okay, so rook takes, but then his bishop's running away, isn't it? And rook takes on g5. Rook takes on g5. Let's just say bishop a8.
Yeah, but then you're mating him with rook d6 mate.
Rook d6 mate. Ah, yeah, nice one.
So he can't give g5 check.
Wait, g5
Right.
check, rook takes.
And
Well,
you-
maybe he has another resource.
Exactly, he does.
Maybe instead of rook a8, he can play.
What rook a8?
Sorry, bishop a8. He
No,
can-
that's already gone. In that position, because when you take the bishop on g5, or sorry, the,
the
pawn on
g5.
g5, his bishop is hanging and rook d6 mate is threatened.
Yeah,
Can defend both.
I was trying to think if he has a
Yeah.
different way of
Okay,
defending
just
both.
helping a bit.
So
yeah.
you're sure that he can't defend both, but I wasn't.
Exactly, yeah, that's what you should do, of course. You should determine yourself.
Okay, well, I'll go with your tip. He can't
Yeah,
defend both.
he
So
can't
I'm
defend
winning
both.
in that line, so
So he cannot give g5 check.
so he cannot give g5 check. Right. So then he can. So the moves were a6.
And now black to play.
Yeah, black to play. He's about to lose his bishop. He has a rook on f1 as well.
The same idea, but just inverting the move orders. You play g5 in order to give check with the bishop, like on a light square way, right?
Yeah.
What if you do it first?
Okay, so bishop to c8, rook takes rook, and then g5 checkmate.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's tough.
So what can you conclude about a6?
It's not good.
Not your lucky day.
But in a game, I probably...
Forget about a game.
Okay,
Forget about it.
okay.
This is training.
Okay.
Forget about a game. Now we're getting you better.
But this is where in a game I will start doubting that I did things right, that I calculated right, and I'll be like, there must be something else for white after a6.
Yeah,
there must be a6 looks good, and I must not be seeing something.
Yeah, that's a problem not just for you. That's for everybody. You're feeling there must be something, but
there
then
isn't.
sometimes there may be, sometimes
Yeah.
not. At some point you must make a decision to trust your calculations, and if your calculation is telling you there's nothing, then there's nothing.
Okay.
Because otherwise you just keep on going, digging, and you lose on time eventually.
Yeah.
If there's nothing.
Yeah. Okay, so...
So a6 doesn't work, then rook d7.
Yes, rook d7. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Rook d7. How about rook on b5? So we're not changing this position on purpose, people who
Exactly,
who
yeah,
may be
people
watching now.
should be training. If
it's like
they
this
can
to
follow.
make me suffer.
That's true.
I have a rook on b5, and I'm playing. I mean, the knights are not even on the board anymore, right? I mean,
No.
Okay,
Just
Okay.
let me tell you. I mean,
No,
this
no,
is
no.
like I just want to tell you how moves far ahead you have calculated so
Okay.
far to kind of boost
to
your
make me feel good,
confidence,
huh? Yeah, stroke my ego a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. So the thing you're considering move rook d7. Okay,
Yeah.
that's move 35.
Yeah,
And you started with knight c3, which is 27. So it's already
yeah, a few moves in.
8 moves in advance. But it's not only 8. 8 is along the main line only.
Yeah,
You only calculated a lot of them sideways.
Yeah,
Okay. So by here you have already calculated quite a lot of moves,
okay,
and you're not doing badly at all.
okay. So,
So I mean,
so
okay, just go.
enough ego stroking. Let's see if I can actually. So I gotta. Let's just remind myself and anybody who may be watching the position.
Yeah.
My rook is on b5, attacking the bishop. a6 was a threat, but it's not actually really good because I get mated. And now, black also has a rook on f1. My king is on h4. There's a pawn on f4. His king is on h6. And I've just played rook to d7.
Exactly.
Now it's black to move.
Yep.
Oh my god. Okay, well, he still cannot play g5 because I can still just take.
Yep.
It's a little hint from the other line.
Yep.
Let's look again at bishop to c8, attacking my rook. If I take his rook, he takes my rook, and just a piece down, looks like. Jumping to conclusions, but
Maybe.
they look like reasonable conclusions to me because he can always just knock his bishop away if I try and attack it. But maybe I can promote the pawn. Then because he has a rook, he can play rook to a1, put it behind the pawn.
That too.
So
after rook d7,
after rook d7, he played bishop c8.
nice. Now.
And I took the rook, which maybe is not possible then.
Because when he takes your rook, not only he will play rook a1 or something, g5 mate is still a mate.
Yeah, g5 still mate. Yeah. So instead of taking his rook, I should consider something else.
Yep.
I mean, I'm thinking something crazy like rook to h7 check.
Why is it crazy?
Because it looks like I'm just giving up the rook. After I take his rook, I'm still a piece down.
But for how many pawns?
Or how many pawns? Yeah, that's a good question. Let's see.
Yep.
Okay, so for how many pawns? So I have... He has 2 pawns. Those pawns are gone a long time ago.
Yeah.
Those pawns are gone.
Well, most of your pawns
So
are still there.
Yeah, so I have 5 pawns.
Yep.
And he has, I want to say 2 pawns. So I have piece for 3 pawns.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess I could even maybe connect my pawns on the queen side with like
Yep.
b4.
Yeah.
But then I have to make sure that he's not checkmating me.
Well, already with the king on h7,
Ah,
you can always play king g5 on your next move.
yes.
Yeah, because when you take the rook on b8, yeah, your immediate threat is rook b7, winning the bishop more or less. Okay, or just pinning it, yeah?
Yeah.
But also the threat is to play king g5 and take on f4 even.
King g5 and take on f4 with the king.
Exactly. So the point is that...
so that position with so many pawns should be better for white, you say?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So now you see why I pushed you that hard along this line. Just to show you that with a little bit of help, you can calculate these like 10 moves, 10, 11 moves. And not only 10, 11 only along the main line. What about all the small lines? If this, I had that. If that, I had this.
Yeah.
What about all those? So you're not really, I mean, people are not really bad at
So should we
calculation
show
as such.
the position we got
sure,
to?
Sure.
See if anybody is actually trying to do this as well. See if they got it.
So c5.
Let me try and remember. And
Okay, yeah, good.
So I think we took this, and then they took, and then I took, and then very trickily they came here, took here. I took here, I came here, I went here because if I take, I'm losing, so I came here. It looks much more clear now to me.
I know. It usually does, I like that.
So then check was played with the idea that if I take the rook and check and get out of the pin. So I went here and then like came here. And a6 wasn't working, so we played
because of bishop c8.
Yeah, played rook here. And then we said that g5 was not working for the same reasons as before, so black tried this. And at this point, winning one more pawn seems to be the solution to the puzzle.
Yeah, now the bishop is king. He has to move the bishop, and on the next, bishop d7, rook b7, for example, and on the next move, king g5. He moves the bishop, king g5, take on even on f4 maybe. This is already quite advantageous. So you see how this is like 10 moves, 10 move calculation. I will immediately say this is like next to impossible to calculate during a game. Okay, this is like very difficult, but that's why we are training it. Okay, the harder the training, the easier the battle. When you are capable of doing this in training, you will be capable to do what is necessary in a game. And as I explained at the beginning, what was necessary was to calculate a few lines, not very deeply, come to a conclusion and make a decision. But the training is different, so don't be confused that we are like grandmasters are doing this in their games. No. This is training. The training is really hard, and it's usually much harder than playing the game. The things that you're doing in training are much harder than during a game, than what is happening during a game. But the harder you train, the better you are equipped to tackle the problems that happen in the game.
I think it's safe to say that I would not be able to train like this by myself, even if I wanted to. Because you have to be pushed. And
exactly. I agree.
As human beings, we don't really like to push ourselves that much sometimes.
No, that is true. I mean, it's really probably for somebody to train alone, it's like really hard self-discipline and to know how deep to go and to understand all these things, where to stop, what to think about.
So that's where the guidance that comes with a grandmaster supervising it becomes very useful. Yeah,
I suppose so. I suppose they also that's why it's popular. So okay, let's perhaps conclude.
That'd be good. I'm not good.
No, but you could see that. Okay, David's rated 1,800. Okay. He's not a bad chess player, okay? He tackled the problems with some help, pushing, correction here and there, but he didn't do badly. And this is a very complex problem. So the thing is that by my conviction is by doing this type of training, for example, on a more regular basis, he'll just prosper. He'll be able to tackle these problems, visualize better, see the moves, understand the position, and so on and so on. And okay, just to wrap up, for example, the objective evaluation of this position. In fact, almost all the moves are let's say, better than knight d6 and knight c5, which he unfortunately looked at, but fortunately concluded that they are not that good. d5 is also not very good because that position he reached at the end. After cd, knight d6, rook e6, knight b7, rook b7, rook d5, black just plays something like knight f6, and it's kind of holding the position more or less.
It did look like, even though I'm active.
But the other moves, all the other, knight c3, knight f2, knight g3, knight g5, they're all good because they maintain the position as it is, which is more active for white. And he simply keeps the pressure. And
that's-
also the move knight c3 is a sort of, you can call it a trap, but very complex one, you could say, tempting black
I
to
think
play
black would play before that.
Okay, before, okay, not,
looks like-
before, yeah. Okay,
At my
not-
level, yeah.
Yeah, okay, maybe, yeah. But positionally thinking, you should be considering
Yeah,
c5.
c5 too. Yeah.
Just eliminates all the problems.
True.
But it's a sort of a trap,
Because
very
c5 is not
complex one.
possible.
Yeah, exactly, very complex one. Tempting black to go there, but you can only tempt somebody into that kind of trap only if you get calculated everything that follows next. Like to see the refutations of his swindles and all these things that happen later on. Yeah. So knight c3, then it's better for black not to play c5, just continue positionally and so on.
But yeah, but many black players at higher level probably would play c5 because it
Prob-
looks like
yeah,
the move,
yeah, okay,
activating the bishop,
Yeah,
getting,
it looks
getting rid of the
natural.
backward
Yeah?
pawn.
There is also knight b3 coming, so people may be tempted. But as you could see, actually it's a quite nice refutation, let's say, to the the desirable liberating move c5.
Yeah, that's an interesting line.
Yeah. So okay, I hope you enjoyed this type of intense training, which is I am the first to admit it's very intensive and demanding.
Mm-hmm.
But to my understanding, this is the way to progress in chess. I mean, it's hard. We all know chess is hard, but training like this will, from experience, I can also confirm that will make you better.
Great, yeah, thank you, Alex. And
Welcome.
if anybody has watched to this point, please let us know in the comments if you enjoyed this and if you liked us to do more of this, if you found it useful. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Cheers.